Hello, welcome back to the Gamer's Tale. I am Trent Gander. I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. We'll be resuming our Forging the Onyx campaign storyline. Last week, the party split up and searched around several of Syronicus' hideouts in the city of Giva. And through an unfortunate turn of events, they were not able to communicate with each other to rendezvous at one of the quote-unquote bastions of the Syronicus cult. Never fearing, Treddskalla and Frederick von Steuben decided they were going to infiltrate and then assault the member or the bastion, and then engage in a protracted fight with the members there with Crooked Armstrong, a lieutenant, the fifth one of
Anything like that would be.
Well, hey, it's Frederick.
It's not Frederick anymore.
True. Anyway, continuing on. After a protracted conflict within the bastion itself, Frederick von Steuben was struck down and finished off by a Tempest cleric, and subsequently eaten by Treddskalla as a giant snake. So we're going to be picking up there after he managed to escape through outside of the the bastion.
Okay. So we're outside now?
You just left the door for all intents and purposes.
Okay. Out of the building.
Out of the building, yes.
Okay. And is there anyone there?
There are some people, going about their business. It's starting to wind down in this section of town, but it's getting towards night.
Okay. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw him up. And I'm going to unwild shape and rewild shape into a Quetzalcoatlus.
Okay.
Which is a huge beast with a flying speed of 80.
All right. So you throw him up, transform from just a giant snake to the the feathered serpent of Mayan legend. Pick him up and take off into the night sky. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
And I'm heading towards the tavern because I'm guessing that's where our friends would be.
Which is a good guess. After having narrowly escaped a run-in with the police, they have returned to the Tricky Crayfish Arms.
So I'm just going to show up there as a giant freaking flying bird lizard thing and drop him gently.
I mean, it's not like he's going to feel it, let's be honest.
Yeah, I drop him hard.
You don't want to break him.
I mean, I don't think it matters at this point. He's covered in stomach acid anyway.
Yeah, I'm definitely,
Oh, jeez.
I'm definitely past the 10-minute mark for Revivify.
Yeah. That was passed way beyond because...
the time limit for Revivify is 1 minute.
Oh, I thought it was 10 minutes. My bad.
Yeah.
Either way.
Maybe that was Greater Restoration. I don't know. But yeah, Treddskalla took 30 minutes to get his wild shapes back in order to be able to actually move the 1,000-pound enlarged Frederick von Steuben.
That's right. Okay.
So where are you dropping him? Like just outside
I should
of
be
the...
normal sized by now, I believe.
Basically outside the door, yeah.
No, I still have like 2.5 hours on that bitch.
Yeah, so it may be like an hour and a half more.
Oh. If he's still enlarged, I'm going to have to get as far as I can as a snake then. Because I don't think the Quetzalcoatlus is strong enough to carry him.
Actually, wait, okay. So the giant strength should be the 1D, should be the 4 hours. The large, I think, is only an hour.
Okay, let's check some. Let's do some rules learning here because this could be interesting.
May or may not be a second encounter.
All right. So the scale enlarge and reduce. That
Should be a minute.
lasts up to
typically.
a minute. Yeah. But does that work for the large person? What am I thinking for? Large
Potion
person.
of giant strength
Potion.
is 1 hour. Potion of growth.
That's the one.
Yeah, potion of growth is 1d4. I'm still fucking giant.
Okay.
I'm
So
I'm 11. I'm almost 11 feet tall,
I have to giant constrictor snake it.
Okay.
which means let's see. I'm almost 11 feet tall. I'm close to a ton. If you add my equipment, I'm over a ton.
Tons of fun.
What size is
Murderer.
huge?
One step
You-
above large.
Yeah,
I mean, but like feet wise.
huge takes up a 15 by 15 foot square.
Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Constrict. You might be sticking out of the mouth a little bit, but just,
I mean, I might. I don't know if I'm technically huge. I would be like,
No, he is you count as large with the potion of growth, but we're
Yeah.
trying to determine if the snake is huge so that he can actually eat you.
the snake is huge.
okay, then yeah,
Confirmed.
he can eat one of me.
There's two of you.
No, no, like he can. His
This
stomach
just
can
got a
hold
lot more
one-
interesting.
One creature of my size category.
You see, the secret here is that there are many Frederick von Steubens.
We're hidden throughout the world. The next,
If that isn't a plot point later on, I'll be disappointed.
the next character is Bruno von Steuben. I'm kidding. His last name is not Steuben.
Yeah, that'd be Steuben.
That's a dick move, bro. Just saying.
Instead of Steuben, it's Stubwas. Anyway,
Dick.
What the?
Anywho, big giant snake just going through the streets with
How-
a giant full belly.
how long can you hold wild shape?
That's a good question. Let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure several hours.
Okay.
4 hours.
Oh god, you guys are like gonna have to revert back at the same time, otherwise it's just gonna be a mess.
I mean, I did have the time to,
No wait,
Yeah.
you would actually outlast it by 30 minutes.
haha.
Because it took you 30 minutes to get your wild shape abilities back.
Yep.
All right, so you slither through the streets of Giva, trying to make your way back to the Tricky Crayfish Arms. There's some screams, there's some alarm, there's might be somebody going out snake hunting later tonight, but for the most part, you get there unaccosted because who's going to attempt to go close to a very large snake that looks like it's eating something?
My speed is 30, but I would think I'd be a little slower with a 1,000-pound person in my stomach.
Well, why are you doing this again? I'm.
I had to get him out of there, and I have nothing. I had nothing that I could get him out of there with.
So let's say it takes you, since at your reduced speed and the distance it is to take, we'll say that it takes you a very, very long time. So enough so that Steuben shrinks.
Okay.
And you know that you're probably going to revert again, so you might have to re-wild shape, but he's now small enough for you possibly be able to carry him in some other form.
Yeah, I'll vomit him up and bring him as. I'll revert to my original plan, which was to turn into the Quetzalcoatlus and fly him
Okay.
the rest of the way.
All right. So it takes you, say, 5 hours, 30 minutes to get from the Bastion back to the Tricky Crayfish Arms. and you drop him hard. Where?
Probably right at the door,
All right.
assuming there's no one there.
Oh, it's a tavern. There's probably a lot of people there.
No, I mean like no one like in the doorway at the time. I don't want to drop him on someone.
Oh,
Get hit with a dead
you want
body.
him to like roll into the
No,
into the
just like in the general vicinity of the door.
Okay, so otherwise he's going to impact and probably break the porch that's in front. So we'll say he lands kind of in the muddy area in front of the tricky crayfish's front steps.
Yeah, get that armor nice and dirty.
Oh yeah. So you kind of hear, instead of a thump, you hear kind of and he lands in some mud. Well, not mud. They wouldn't actually have mud because it hasn't rained in quite some time. So
You disrespectful shit.
you
all
land
we
in a
did
pile
together.
of dust.
After all we've been through.
Hey,
At least I didn't leave you in my stomach.
Yes.
That's somehow making this worse.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to like lean my head in and look for my friends as the giant Quetzalcoatlus. Realize that's a bad idea and wild shape back.
Okay. So you're now your normal self. Are you gonna pick him up, or are you just gonna leave him in the dirt?
I mean, how heavy is he with his armor and stuff? I do have a strength of 18, but
You could pick me up. You wouldn't move very fast, but you could pick me up, I'd say.
okay. Then
Yeah.
I'll carry him in
That's just my...
Are you gonna princess carry him, or like over the shoulder?
over the shoulder.
Okay. So like a stately sack of potatoes, Treddskalla slings Frederick von Steuben over his shoulder and proceeds to walk into the tricky crayfish arms. You are met with some very odd looks, more than usual. You are carrying some random man over your shoulder, and you are a lizard folk, a rarity in these parts.
Hello.
One guy in the back just kind of waves happily.
Is the rest of the party in there somewhere?
You know that they took up rooms here, and that also Mr. Black also has rooms here, so they could be either in this general area or up in their rooms.
Okay. I'm gonna take Frederick to his room and drop him off there, then get the rest of the party.
Okay. Where do you drop him?
The bed.
Okay, good. So you hear a nice, comfortable squeak as you drop him into the bed. And you go to look for the rest of the party. Closing the door after you, of course.
Yes. I'm not an animal.
Right now.
So yeah, I'd probably go for probably I don't care. Whoever's closest.
Who wants to be closest?
It's been so long, I forgot precisely how the rooms were arranged.
Well, we never really set that up.
And that's why I never figured it out.
Mm.
I mean, I suppose we could get my character's reaction out of the way.
Yeah, let's go you first.
He's also the one that Treddskalla has known the longest in this party.
That's fair.
He's also the most charismatic.
So I'll knock on the door.
Don't hear somebody knock at the door as you pull yourself out of your horrible Syronicus book.
Thank God I get to not read that junk anymore. Hello?
It's Tread.
All right, open up. It's okay.
You open the door. There he is. Tin
Put
pot.
together the party.
Okay.
There's been a problem. And then I go to the next one.
Okay.
All right. Yo, and you hear a knock at the door.
Oh crap! Is there like a peephole or probably not back then, right?
Yeah, there wouldn't be a peephole.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'll look through it, but not too close.
You see a dark shape in it.
How the hell with it? I open the door.
We need to gather the party. And then I go on to the next.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do I know where any of them are? Or...
You could either just follow Tread or
Yeah.
go to
I just
the
add,
Legion's room.
follow me.
Oh, you know. All right. Yep. All right.
All right.
I'm following him.
You get to Brock's room. I'm assuming you knock again.
Mhm.
All right. Brock, do you hear a knock at the door? Brock has been kidnapped. He's not in the bathtub.
Where is he?
He's probably bathing with his axe again.
He's muted.
That's the
Yes, indeed. I was muted. Sorry, what happened? I was looking at memes.
Trev,
Best use of downtime.
You hear a knock at the door of your room in the Tricky Crayfish Arms.
Who's there?
It's Tread.
Who?
Tread. The lizard man.
Ah,
That's a great
I'm
estimate.
gonna go open the door.
Okay, you open the door and you see Treddskalla standing there with Yowen.
We've got a problem.
Which
Follow
one?
me.
What kind of a problem? What's going on?
You'll see when we get to Frederick's room.
Do I hear him say that?
If you followed him, yes.
Okay,
I'm gonna follow.
because he said we need to gather the party. So I mean,
So I take them all to Frederick's room. So we raided the cult building place thing. And then I open the door.
All right, you see before you as he flashingly opens the much nicer room. You see crumpled in a heap on the bed, Frederick von Steuben. He's dusty. He looks like he's been bruised and battered. He's covered in all sorts of ick. There's even a lot of blood splatter because velociraptors are squishy and juicy.
Squishy.
I can
And-
attest to that.
And yeah, he's not moving.
it's a toss up between what I know and what my character doesn't know. I'd have to go over there, check it
Yeah, I'm
out.
gonna go over and shake him, flip him over.
You start shaking and flipping him over, and you get no response. He's kind of cold, actually.
He went down and I couldn't get it back up.
Would I be warm though? I mean, I
True,
was in
you
a
have-
giant snake's stomach.
Butt stomach. You've been in a giant snake's butt stomach. You have been carried around in a desert. So I would say that yes, you are still warm. Rigor mortis has not set in, or is it passed?
I don't actually have enough knowledge to answer that question.
It probably would be in the stage between the second set of rigor mortis, so he'd probably still be limp.
Yeah, that, and you can. I don't know. See, here's the thing: the way you get rid of rigor mortis, because I have a buddy who's a mortician, by the way,
Okay, cool.
is they warm the body gently and they massage the muscles to
Oh,
make it loosen back up.
That's interesting.
So if you think about a
Pretty
snake,
weird.
I need to write that down.
if you think about a snake's stomach, right? It's one giant muscle because all of it is muscle. And I am being warmed up. I would have never hit rigor mortis.
This is true. All right, so
rigor
you're
mortis
still
takes-
squishy.
Rigor mortis takes a few hours to set in once you are dead. You know, I was only out for 30 minutes and then I was swallowed. So I'd be limp.
He's very.
So
limp.
is one of our party dead now? Is that?
Weren't
Yes,
you?
That's what we're
Were you
attempting
here last week?
to. That's what you're attempting to figure out here.
That's what Tredd's telling you guys.
What happened? You said he went down. How long has it been?
A few hours.
Damn it.
Would Tread know what hours were?
What would he even? What's a measurement of time besides hours?
The sun, the moon,
Cycles.
The sun was still up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, so that would be
No, I'm sure Tread would know hours, even because moon circles and things like that.
His friend from the general store in the first town taught him about time.
Gerald, you guys
Yeah.
need to find Gerald someday.
Oh my god.
so. I would know that it's past. I would know that I can't do anything with that. Can anybody do anything
To what?
to get him back?
Oh, don't.
Real
Oh wait,
quick,
he's the
yeah,
healer, isn't he?
No, we are. Tread
He
and
has
I
some
are.
healing, but not a lot.
I've
Yeah.
got false life that would temporarily.
Mm,
He's already dead though, right?
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
dead for an hour.
Longer.
Or however many, 2 to 3 hours. Because I ordinarily I could cast Revivify, but I have to do it like 1 minute or 10 minutes or whatever. That's long gone.
Yeah. And how long has he been dead?
He's coming in at like
About 6 hours.
No, okay. So, is there any churches around here or necromancers or? I prefer churches.
there's literally a place in the middle of town called
Called
the
church.
church.
Yeah,
Church.
okay. We need to go there.
I figured I'd ask you guys first, but we should talk to our friend here. What's his name? Mr. Black.
Mr. Black. Yes.
Yes.
Justice
Okay.
Black.
He might know someone who could help.
Excellent. Let's go find him.
Okay. You go to Mr. Black's room.
I knock on the door.
Yes.
It's Lundgren. With the adventurers, we need your help.
With what?
There's been an accident. Well,
What kind of accident?
fatal.
Dead.
You hear some rustling around. And you see a very disheveled looking Mr. Black kind of whip open the door. Defined fatal.
One party member of ours, Frederick, went on a raid in a Syronicus hideout, and he was killed.
What?
Yeah,
I tried.
Where is he?
in his room.
He kind of pushes through you, very exasperated, and rushes to the room and says, "Let's get them to the church. Follow me." He points to Brock and says, "You! Pick him up, carry him." He goes to his room, gets on his coat and his leather case and his hat.
I'll be right back. I got to take care of something.
Why do we need to take him somewhere?
Do you want your friend to be alive or not?
I need him my employer, but yeah.
Then we take him to the church.
I hoist him on my shoulder.
He lets out a very depressing sigh.
Hey, sorry about that. What did I miss?
You just got picked up by Brock, and you let out a sigh. But that's just because, dead people in realization.
Escaping the body.
So, you guys, Mr. Black is not taking things lightly. He is keeping up a brutal pace, and you are having trouble keeping up with him. I'm assuming you all are following.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He brings. you pass through all the various winding streets, and you wind up to the somewhat familiar building that is referred to as the church. And Mr. Black ushers you inside and into the confessional booth and down into the workshops, or technically workplace of Ulrich Skythorn and the rest of the research and development group of the Kingdom of Volton. You reach the bottom, and he
Sorry, I'm
rushes over to Ulrich's office. Kind of just he doesn't knock. He just bursts in. You hear some distant shouting and scuffling, and Ulrich Skythorn comes out and says, "Oh, we how when did this happen?"
How long would it be at this point?
Probably be 7-ish hours ago.
7 hours.
Well, yeah, there's kind of this conversation that goes back and forth that you don't really understand, and it's in a different language. And Mr. Black seems to be very heated, despite the fact that he looks generally composed. And you see him just full on slap Ulrich Skythorn, and he says that they have no one here that specializes in raising the dead, even though he's not what we want. But there might be other enchanters, not enchanters. What is the word I'm looking for? There might be others who are more skilled in the art of resurrection, but they're not currently here. They're in other cities, but they're not here.
Okay. What cities are those?
Best one is the Oasis. King might know. The king might be able to. It's up to you. We can.
How long is the trip from here to the Oasis?
It was. I think it was like. I want to say it was either 3 days or a week.
I think it was a week.
I want to
Yeah.
say it's a week. Yeah.
It was a long time.
The great thing about resurrection is that you have to be dead less than a century for it to work.
Okay, I'd say we get on over there.
Less than a century, yeah.
I could speed it up. I have a few things I can do that can help.
Okay, what did you have in mind?
Let's see.
You see, as you guys are deciding this, like Skythorn and Mr. Black are again muttering in a different language again. Skythorn being a little bit more sobered up, shall we say, after the slap. Skythorn says, "We might be able to get you there faster."
That
Okay, we would appreciate that. Thank you.
Is there anything you wish to? Who has the bag, by the way?
I would, since
Okay.
Frederick had it.
All right, so you have the bag. That's good to know.
I have an entire inventory, by the way, for later.
I probably would have taken his loose stuff and put it in the bag too.
Okay,
Define
so-
loose.
Like your swords.
Okay.
All right. Skythorn says, I would be willing to assist, but I need to see the writ from the king.
That would have been part of the Frederick's effects as well, so somebody would have to go into the bag and get it.
All right. And I go into the bag, and if the writ's in there, I'll take it out.
It is. I'm assuming it would be, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it was actually on his person.
No.
Okay. Then yeah. I'll hand it to him.
Skythorn kind of looks over it, looks over it quickly, hands it back to you, and says, "Follow me." You're led deep into the. Well, I'm assuming you are following them.
Yes.
All right. You're led deep into the workshop proper. This thing goes on and on and on, and there's you're kind of reminded of forest, but instead of wood, it's metal. Instead of it being rounded, it's more square beams and other things, and you see in Dwarvish written on various other various kind of archways, both very high up and low on the ground. These Dwarvish words, but I don't think any of you, but Frederick, speaks Dwarvish.
I can't speak it, but I can read it, definitely.
Okay, so you see,
What was the question about Frederick?
he's like the only one who can speak Dwarvish in this party.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's useful.
it is. You read these are seemingly random combinations of words. Some of them are mainly gemstones for whatever reason, and some of them have numbers. He leads you to one very far in, and he hits kind of like a panel, and you hear this massive winding of gears, and this large door opens up underneath the bay that is marked Onyx, and it opens up. Any questions, comments? Because I heard
I've got Dwarven, I think, too, but it's...
Everyone knows that I made Boo Boo, right? And told people why I was there. Told the guards why I was there. And blew our cover.
No, nobody knows that but Yoan and me.
Oh.
Unless you told everybody. Unless you
I
told
didn't.
Fred when he got back.
So I'm going to telepath with the earring. Tell everyone that, and tell them that I'm going to stay here. And just.
Oh.
I don't know. Do you guys, or ask them if you think that's a good idea?
Is there a reason you would want to stay behind? Do you have other business to attend to here?
Yeah, I mean,
We've still got lieutenants to hunt down here.
But there's also like 15 other lieutenants in all the other places as well.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely, I'll say this into the earring. We are definitely going to mop up after all this is resolved with Frederick. After we do what we can for him, we're definitely coming back here and hunting down everybody, or staying where we are and hunting everybody and coming back here, because I ain't giving up on wiping them all out, no matter what the order is or how far we have to go.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, could help keep them off your back.
Maybe it might be better for us to disappear to keep them off their guard.
All I'm saying is that Frederick and I went in after one of them, and he didn't make it out. I don't think it's a good idea.
There's
character. Character that also was number 5 on a list of 6.
Okay. So
And that if he was the next lowest ranking and he could do that, imagine what the next sets could do.
So Crooked was number 5 of 6 for Giva.
Yeah, possibly. Let me check my notes. Yes, he was 5 out of 6.
Okay, because
should mark down that he's dead too.
I don't have that information. I know, unless there was a special note inside a common note or whatever.
There was a note or a list that was given to Frederick von Steuben. I don't know if he told you guys or not, though.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because he just kept the list of the stuff. And he also had other things. I mean, we all had certain things unique to us that we carried into the campaign that none of the others could see.
Yes.
Which is-
Are you just gonna like rifle through his stuff now?
Me? No.
That's some rude shit, guys.
I mean, we got a party member that's dead. Should we really be like splitting up, until he's at least able to have some input?
Me personally, I think the answer is no. That we just stay together until things are dealt with and we can come up with a plan.
I'm not going to stop you if you want to stay, but I'm telling you it's probably a bad idea.
I second the druid on that maneuver.
Okay.
Dude,
I start chewing on a finger.
I'm sorry for this mutilation of your corpse, Frederick.
Lucky
Not his finger. I have other ones.
Okay,
I couldn't pass it up though.
I was gonna say if he's mutilated, resurrection isn't gonna work as well.
Yeah, it is. It says it restores busted limbs and everything.
Oh, the missing parts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like read the spell.
I'm pretty sure true resurrection, even if there's no body, they could do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the difference. Okay,
you get a random body for that one.
Whoops.
Which means isn't there a spell specifically for that, like reincarnation or something?
Yeah, that's the druid version of true resurrection.
I love that. I love that.
I'm not playing that game.
I don't want to come back as a gnome. What if you come back as a dragon?
You come back as a leaf.
No, it has to be a living creature. Humanoid, generally.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say living creature, he comes back as a tree.
True.
All right, so
who's wanting to split up from the what's the whole logic behind that?
I'm not sure yet. I was wondering about that myself. He mentioned he wanted to see, because we have other lieutenants here to hunt down, that he had wanted to see if he could do that while we were gone, which Tread suggested was a bad idea. Which I
also partly because I blew our cover.
Well, you shouldn't. Well, I mean,
well, now you guys have the proof that for your claims.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as far as that goes. But I mean, I wouldn't treat that as something that it would be like, because you blew our cover with the town guard, you must stay behind. I mean, no, if we're going, I don't want you to go with us.
Logic dictates you get out of the place where you blew your cover.
Yeah.
Right.
So it serves two purposes: to get us to lay low, because we'll be in a different town for however long it is, a week, maybe a week and a half. And then maybe they'll forget about us because, town guard.
There also are reports of a giant snake running throughout the city.
Okay, we got to get out of here. We got to all get out of here right now.
And if they investigate that house that we raided, there was a lot of blood and a lot of dead raptors.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay.
I summoned 8 raptors? 16 raptors?
16 raptors.
And I think 2 survived.
I think 2 did survive.
They're gone now, though. They only last an hour.
Wow. That's in character, by the way, because I really don't know any of that.
Because I ate them.
Oh.
Did you eat it? Did you eat any bodies while you were taking a short rest?
I probably ate a raptor leg like a chicken leg.
Oh, dear me.
Which would actually probably taste pretty similar.
A KFC raptor.
KFC raptor.
Oh,
like you know how alligator kind of tastes like chicken?
No,
yeah,
I don't know firsthand.
I had it at the fair this past year. It was pretty good, salty chicken, basically.
Ooh,
so raptor would probably be pretty similar.
They eat their wounded, just like chiropractors.
What?
That was
Come
harsh
on.
timing, man.
Oh,
Ouch.
come on. No one gets this red versus blue reference. Come on.
No, I'm not that far into the seasons of that show.
Who is that?
What?
Wait, what are we doing?
Red versus blue?
No, not that. Who keeps like playing music in the background?
I want to say that's Ralph.
Oh, I've got the here. It's the TV. I'll shut it off.
Yeah, it's a very specific song, or like commercial, I guess. Anyway, let's keep going.
Okay.
So we're in agreement that we're sticking together then.
That would have to be something for Brock to
Okay.
talk to us about.
Well, I mean,
We cannot split up. That is just not right. You know, I mean, somebody dead and
I've already given that up like 3 times.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, it's hard to hear you.
You were muted. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm muted sometimes too. So.
Oh, okay. That explains why I didn't hear it. Well, I mean, sometimes if he would say something, I still wouldn't hear it. So, I mean, that doesn't really excuse that on my part. So,
All right, so we're all going.
yeah.
while this was happening, you see Skyrick Ulthorn? No, Ulrich Skythorn. I can't even keep my own characters right. What in the hell? Ulrich Skythorn is preparing a group of individuals, some elves, some humans, a tiefling actually. He beckons you guys over, and Mr. Blackwell's also there, and he says, we have been working on something that King Ariok has had an interest in for a long time. We've had successful tests, and we have a number of these. You can search for the words machines, for lack of a better term. We called them airships, and they allow us to move at a high rate of speed, similar to a ship, but not in water. And you see, he's looking at you like he's making sure you're following.
I'm awestruck.
Tredd's eyes are in 2 different directions. No, I'm kidding.
So,
Wait, that's not the normal way for them?
so this
I'm-
the boat can fly?
While it is not necessarily a boat, it can fly, and it can also be on the water as well.
That's amazing.
We will be loaning you a crew, and he indicates the individuals behind him.
Okay.
This, and he indicates the tiefling, is Captain Stoneground.
Okay.
He is the chief officer upon the skyship, nickname or codenamed Feldspar. He will be flying you to the Oasis.
Okay.
He just stands there and smiles politely.
And how long will this trip take?
A matter of hours or days compared to a week or 2 by horse.
Okay.
That's
I'm
pretty
still-
impressive.
I'm still awestruck.
But isn't he still gonna start to smell?
I'm sure he will.
Do we have anything or anybody's skills who can help with that?
I have
I-
herbs.
I was gonna say it's not as if we can like put flowers down his boots.
We can all get high so we don't care about the smell.
Hey, do we still have that shoot?
Yeah, we have some shtuk. I think we do anyway.
I think we have like 8 uses or 8 servings left.
If it gets
Or
too
was it-
bad, I'm gonna
no.
take all 8 at once.
Oh.
Oh no, I wouldn't suggest
um,
doing that.
Are you taking all 8 bags of Stug, which are a pound each, which is like 800 servings of Stug?
No.
He said if it gets bad, he's taking
If
the
it gets bad,
if
no.
it gets bad.
Okay. All right, you had me scared there for a little bit because that was gonna suck for
It's
you.
chill.
That was gonna suck for you like really bad. Uh,
Like, put me in a coma or kill me bad.
probably both.
First the coma, then the kill.
First the
If it
death,
were-
then
oh.
hyper death.
If it were only that merciful.
Okay, so no ODing on the Stuk. You hear me? Oh man. Okay.
Well,
But I need to self-medicate with the Stuk to feel normal.
Have
No, you
been
don't.
taking the Stug?
Never had it.
He's grieving, okay?
I'm fine with that, but usually when he needs to do that, it involves drinking.
We were the muscle bros up front.
Ugh,
Hey, what
lads.
about me?
I get
Lats to
that. I
lads.
do.
Tread, you're the third muscle bro.
Thank you.
You're the muscle bro that always like took it too far.
Yeah.
This is true.
Summoning all those raptors.
And eating people, taking limbs off.
Anything.
Taking things
And
too
breaking
far is
people's
my
necks on
thing.
purpose instead of hacking them to bits with my axe is not taking it too far.
No, that's while they're alive. He does it after they're dead.
Yeah, he eats pieces of people.
But it's fun.
Well, with his Hungry Jaws ability, I think you actually heal from it in combat, don't you?
I do. Yeah. Not much, but a bit.
Well, let me put it this way: I can't eat people's whatever and heal them from it.
Mr. Black clears his throat and he says, "I believe time is of the essence."
Yes, okay.
You're absolutely right. And Captain Stoneground ushers you up this metallic ramp into this. It kind of looks like a box with rounded edges, and it has drums. Kind of looks like, I don't know, I want to say welded to it, but stuck to it. So it's this very ugly, very dark copper. Like, it's dark brown, but it's coppery in nature. Like, it's heavily rusted, but it's sturdy looking.
Okay. I resist the urge to clean it.
You wouldn't be able to. That's its natural color.
Okay.
Inside, you're in a very open area, and this kind of looks a little familiar to you, Lundgren.
Why?
what?
It looks very reminiscent, at least in certain styles, to a place that you were at once time held not too long ago. I think it's been about 2 to 3 days. But it's not this one. It just looks similar. Like if you had been on, let's say, an ocean-faring ship and you were on another ocean-faring ship.
Oh my. Does that mean the Syronicus people have one of whatever this is?
Do you say that out loud?
I don't know. I mean, if I trust them, I mean, I could just tell them that information.
Do you tell them that information? Do you trust them? Will you keep this important information to yourself? Who
No.
knows?
We do not trust the crew.
That would be. What about what's his name, Mr. Black? I could tell Mr. Black. Is he here still?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go tell him real quick.
He beckons over. You tell him. He beckons over Skythorn and says, "That's what they stole. Wait, they have one? Oh my goodness!" You see, he's like really super concerned, and Mr. Black is slapping him again. It's like, why didn't, and you can gather from the tone of the conversation that they're having is along the lines of, why didn't you tell me that what you thought was stolen was the plans for these things? Despite the fact that's transferred via tone only and not by the words, because they're still speaking Dwarvish.
Okay.
And Ulrich Skythorn's like, he's starting to sweat now, and it's like, the king must know. He turns to you, takes you by the shoulders, despite the fact that you are technically taller than him, and he says, "The king must know of this. Tell King Ariok about this change of developments."
I will.
What do you do now?
I mean, he's the one who needs to know. I told him already. I won't tell the crew. So,
Do you tell your comrades?
Yeah. I mean, because they don't know about it either. I'll tell them, certainly.
Okay. So, Logan Bass tells you of his captivity and subsequent being attacked by dark mantles,
Yeah.
which he doesn't know they're dark mantles, but I was attacked. He tells you he was attacked by strange, like octopus-looking things.
Octopus face suckers. Ugh.
And Stone Ground approaches you and says, "We are ready for liftoff."
Okay, thank you. Do we need to go to our quarters or
You may
hang
come
up?
to the observation deck if you wish.
Okay, I'll do that.
So he brings you to the bridge of the ship, and it's surprisingly wide and open comparatively to other. It's kind of like they took the back end of a sailing ship with the giant wheel, but it's instead in front, and there is kind of like this enclosed balcony. Trying to put it in terms that the characters would understand, and there is glass in these in this balcony area, and it's kind of slanted, but you can still see through it rather clearly. It's very good glass, given
Sure.
but you're used to seeing good glass in Giva because they produce it quite well. It says, "Well, it's time for the time for some excitement." He sits down in the captain's chair, and he barks orders to the crew, and those of you who are more magically inclined feel this very large surge of magical energies, and you see that the horizon that you can see within the ship rises and changes and shifts as it glides surprisingly smoothly up into the air, and you're suddenly moving forward. Those of you who have used such things as like the fly spell are very familiar with this, or have turned into animals that can fly.
Or have turned yourself into something that you can do because you yourself can fly.
Yes. And you go through this very long series of tunnels, and it takes a little bit, and they carefully maneuver through it, very similar to like a ship coming into dock, only going out. And ahead of you, you see this massive kind of door raise up out of the area. As you fly up out of it, you see this massive open area. And Stone Blossom, no, I'm mixing up bunches of names. Stone Ground says, "Welcome to the Opens." And you see this large kind of squarish area, and it's just littered with what to you, Lundgren, looks like the impacts after stones have fallen off of the mountain and hit like grasslands. There's these deep impacts.
Okay.
And you would see these similar to someone who has been casting high tier war magic, and like after fireballs have been impacted in a certain area, only it's divots in the ground. Tread, you would recognize these as like when you toss rocks into mud, there's this like crater afterwards, and sometimes other lizard folk. There's just like these these imprints in the ground. And the area is just pocked with these things, and begin to climb higher into the air, and you kind of sail over the you sail out over the opens, and you continue to climb in height and climb and climb and climb and climb and climb, and you can see the entire city beneath you all lit up with lights, and it doesn't seem like anyone's really bothered. The main navigator appears to be an elf, or at least a half elf, and you fly up into the night sky, and after 5-10 minutes, after they kind of everything seems to settle down and you are extremely high above the desert, he says, well, I had best we probably best turn in for the night, or at least you had. It doesn't get much more exciting, and we hope it doesn't. I'm sure you saw the craters
What are
when
they
we
built
left.
from?
Those are from impacts from failed test flights. We've pretty sure we've worked out some of the kinks, but sometimes things just go wrong, and even the most solidly built of these craft decides that it prefer to be on the earth or into the earth much faster than is safe.
Oh dear.
I would just like to make a note that I have proficiency in sailing and navigation. So to try to pull any money business, probably.
Speak a little bit more into the mic.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a note that I have proficiency in navigation and sailing. So if somebody tries to like pull some funny business, I would probably notice.
Okay.
Okay,
You need a smoke?
yeah.
Okay. We'll take a small interlude here, and we'll come back 10-15 minutes.
Thanks.
Okay.
I had a brilliant idea for how to keep Frederick from smelling.
Are you
It's
going
gonna
to
be so funny if we have to do it.
Are you gonna like hickory smoke him or something like jerky?
I have a first level spell that is a ritual: purify food and drink. He is food to me.
After all we've been through,
Hey, he's preserving you.
I don't have to be preserved.
You do if you start to smell.
No, I don't. You guys have a bag of holding.
His body is an object.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
You're too busy thinking of him. Stop thinking of Frederick Sweet Sounds. Start thinking more of Frederick Sweet Meat.
Yeah. Hey, Tread's weird like that.
I mean, it makes sense.
Oh,
It's totally in character.
hey Trent, I'm gonna message you something, okay?
Okay.
It's a question I have about something if my character could could potentially craft. I have the stats for it. I found them on D&D Beyond, so it's an official thing.
Okay. Okay.
I messaged you on Messenger. I'll do the rolls for it right now if you want.
Sure.
All right, what rolls do you want?
What
Do you
would the rolls be? I'm just going to close that because damn it, closed the
Which-
wrong one.
Where do you want me to roll it at?
You can do /GR, which will put it in DM only.
All right. How many d20s?
I'm gonna say 3 since it is a, shall we say, a finicky process.
Okay. What attributes do you want? Do you want intelligence?
It'd probably be intelligence, then dexterity, and
My proficiency modifier.
yeah.
Right.
hmm
All right.
Sorry, were you gonna say earlier that you wanted me to make a navigation check?
I was gonna have you do a perception check, but that doesn't necessarily need to happen now.
Okay. So let me break that roll down for you. All right. So I'd say like first dice and first dice for the two different kinds that I rolled,
hmm
and then each of my rolls get that 4, 4, and 4.
Okay, so total of additional 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. You'd succeed in making that.
How many could I make? I'll tell you. I'll tell you how much I have of. Okay. So I have technically 10 pounds of the boom stuff,
Uh huh.
1 pound of the stinky stuff. I'll say it. I got 10 pounds of black powder, a pound of sulfur, a pound of flour, 5 pounds of iron, 10 pounds of lead, and that's all the stuff that I could really like think about. Like, okay, what would I need to make stuff outside of like wood and shit?
Let me just look something up real quick.
I don't want to use it all, of course, but
Oh yeah, I am. I'm looking up actual like historical things. And, da, da.
let me find the. I'll find you. I'll show you the one in that they have in D&D Beyond.
I would say that it doesn't. It wouldn't take more than a couple of ounces for each of those things to make one. So
Okay. Well, I would figure that that'd be the amount that I would keep on me. So I went ahead and I just took out like another 90 gold out of my equipment. By the way, gunpowder and shit's really cheap. Uh, you can look it up on D&D Beyond.
yeah.
Um,
Roll 3d8 for me.
it's GR, right?
Yes.
Do I get any kind of bonus?
This is just how many you'd be able to craft, or that
Well,
you
Well,
will, or
here's my thing, right?
yeah.
I have the dragon mark of making, which gives me a plus 1d6 to all crafting checks.
Okay.
So could I throw an extra d6 in there or no?
No, this is not. You're making this.
Okay.
This is just how many you've managed to make so far.
Okay.
Okay, you've made 11.
Okie doke. Thank you, sir. I'll put those in my equipments.
Yes. By the way, I started playing Curse of Strahd Sunday.
How is it? How are you liking it?
I'm really enjoying it. The party meshes really well. We figured that we're actually Scooby Doo. Our rogue is an orange themed tabaxi, so she's obviously Velma. We have an ostentatious Kenku, who's dresses mostly in purple, I'm guessing, so obviously Daphne. We have a druid, tiefling, so who, of course, the affinity with nature and stuff means that she's Shaggy. We have a dog, and that leaves me to be, unfortunately, Fred. We went with a caravan and had most of our stuff stolen. So yeah, that was fun. We also found the hardest combat in all of the creepy mansion thing.
Oh, Death House?
Yeah. If it's the one with the windmills all over the place, yeah.
That's honestly not really the hardest combat.
We found all the hardest within it.
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah, we found the centipedes. We found the Grick too.
What level did he start you guys out at?
1.
Okay, yeah, that's the purpose of Murder House.
Yep. We're already to level 2. He said we're almost at level 3. So
Yeah,
that should be nice.
Murder House is designed for you to take your party from level 1 to 3 relatively easy.
Yeah, it's nice. The fog wants us, but it's nice.
The fog wants everyone.
That's true. Yeah.
The fog consumes all.
There's like 3 movies about it too.
Including the one with what's his name, Tom Welling.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
That was
the 3rd one.
The remake, I believe.
No, there's been like 2 remakes.
What?
Yeah,
it must have been behind.
How can we make the sinister make the fog full of ghosts?
Not only that, I thought they were also homicidal.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they're actually pirate ghosts because they are.
Oh, but just you wait. There's some weird shit that, and I hope your DM does it. I ran it for my guys when I ran Curse of Strahd. There's some weird shit that you can do with the fog and with character death.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. He definitely told us. He told us it was going to be hard mode. I almost got killed by the animated suit of armor at the top of the stairs in Death House.
Well, at level 1, it's very easy to happen.
Yeah. But I managed to. I actually can do damage. It's weird being the DPS to an extent because I'm used to being the tank.
And Trent, I'll give you a little bit of a heads up about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I play my game. You've never played a game with me, so I play my games very dark and very realistic.
Biggest dream come true.
I love me some gritty. I love me some gritty.
All I will say is, people die all the time. Not necessarily characters, but people die.
Are you going to take advantage of my class?
I will at some
Profession.
point. I will at some point. The first session can go a number of ways depending upon what you guys decide to do and how you guys go about it.
Thanks for summing up every single D&D session.
No, I know, but there's okay. I'll give you a little bit more. There's going to be a raid, and you can fight off some of it. Citizens will die, guards will die, and you have a very simple choice of you can help and rescue people, or you can fight and save yourself.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
But you cannot win.
So pretty much
the
pretty
chain.
much. Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like the first episode of the chain to an extent.
Yeah, you cannot win. I designed it intentionally for you guys not to be able to win.
Well, my character probably would be able to recognize that. I mean, I don't think he's stupid. I forget what I gave him as an intelligence modifier. But that's enough about all the random D&D that we're doing outside of this game. We return now to the situation that you now find yourselves in. Brock, I need a perception check. Watch him roll a 1. Everything will be fine. Is he even in roll 20? He's not in roll 20.
There we go.
I'm working on it.
Oh, yeah.
Aw, shiz.
Nuggets. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Okay, so you notice that that's way too far out. You notice that they're on the way from Giva and in the night sky. You know your constellations pretty well. You notice that there are other lights in the sky that don't match with the constellations nor with the stars themselves and seem to be moving.
The hell?
What do you do?
Is there anyone around me?
There are a number of individuals, crew at their stations, and there's also stone ground.
I'm gonna go up to Stone Ground and
Yes.
strike up a conversation.
Hi.
So, how many of these airships are there flying around here?
I don't think I can tell you that. Let me rephrase. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you that. I will say this, at least this much. There's more than one.
I mean, that's plain to see.
Yeah, it is.
So, do we have any distinguishing markers or anything to set ours apart from Syronicus?
What makes you think there are Syronicus? Well, Syronicus has some of these.
Well, should they? I mean, you have them. Why shouldn't they?
Because this is a very secretive operation. And we like our secrets in Giva.
Nothing stays secret for very long.
Well,
We
yeah.
like our secrets. Yeah.
Out of character, I would have to say this is starting to get stranger and stranger.
Curious. Wait till you get to some of the other continents, man.
No,
Those are
that's
fun.
that's not my issue. I was wondering some stuff I don't know if I'd be able to get the answers to.
Well, you don't know if you don't ask, and you don't know who's going to shank you in a closet if you don't try.
I was curious about like the ship and why Brock spilled his guts to the guard and whatever.
Well, you guys have time.
I never claimed to be good at this whole role-playing thing.
You-
I suck at it, legitimately.
Well, I felt that the exchange that Brock did with the officers of the law, for lack of a better term, was very much in character.
Yeah. I'm just wondering in character, like, what was up with that? Because I was thinking, well, maybe he wants to get them on our side, which is cool. But I mean, they hadn't started questioning him yet or anything.
I guess I was trying to prevent the situation from escalating. I did not want to get in a conflict with the city guard. That would be shitty.
True. Okay.
Let me just flash my badge over this murder scene. It looks like I did it.
I was pretty glad he set fire to the whole thing so we could get out. Definitely. That's fine.
Now, see, that was an escalation.
What else is he supposed to do?
Yes,
Taken
but-
downtown. I mean, what then?
I don't know. You could possibly have talked your way out of that. I'm just really amused at the way it went.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it
All right.
worked.
I liked the way it went. I was just trying to figure out from character to character what the deal was.
Back to the game. You
Does
have
Frederick stink yet?
roll a 1d20. Maybe a little,
All right.
but it could just be like residual sweat and, what he's covered in.
Would I be able to druid craft just like some fragrant plants to just keep around him?
Yeah, you could.
I
Definitely.
will do so.
Okay. So you drew craft some nice smelling herbs and spices, 11 of them. And start seasoning his body.
Sorry.
This kind of smells. It smells pretty good. Yeah.
Trin's mouth
Well,
waters.
just a little bit. So yeah, you have at least several hours to kill, you can do whatever you wish. Oh, except for Frederick, unfortunately, but everyone else can do pretty much what they wish.
Okay. Several hours, you said.
Yes.
All right. Oh,
I'm asleep.
I want to make a batch of antitoxin, and then I'm probably gonna go to sleep, or maybe not.
You had questions. You had questions.
I wanted to talk to Brock about that, but we kind of got that out of the way. I want to figure out why the
No,
star.
that was unofficially. That was us
Okay.
bullcrapping.
Okay, that's fine. But I wanted to figure out what was what, and that's totally cool. So I have questions about why the stars are moving, and like, I don't know what to ask because my character has never experienced any of this before, except for when I'm doing the flying.
But were you there when he saw the
No.
stuff? And
I didn't specify, so the answer is no.
so you don't know that there's extra stars around in the sky.
No. I mean,
So you have
based
no
on what
pressing questions about them.
Okay, true.
I'm just gonna state telepathically, do not trust the crew. I do not trust the crew.
I'm
I'm not saying I distrust them, but I'm gonna stay up.
Okay, I telepathically ask why not.
Well, like I said, I'm not saying I distrust them. I just don't trust them. I don't know them.
Fair enough.
I telepathically snore.
Oh dear.
You just hear.
Yeah.
And it goes on for a while.
Oh no.
God.
Oh man.
And this is how you know never to use the sending stuff when we're sleeping. You got to take that out.
Perfect for an ambush. Is that it? Is that all you wish to do?
I was gonna make some stuff. Try to.
Okay.
Let's see if we need.
So I'm gonna be staying up all night, or at least part of the night, keeping watch.
Okay. Should you stay up all night, you will.
This is antitoxin now.
You fumble it, and you forgot what you were doing.
Is there any spillage?
There's spillage, but it's not like it's not destroyed or anything.
Well, I cast prestidigitation and clean all that up.
Okay.
Good thing you didn't get the nat one on the intelligence. You would have made the world's most dangerous poison.
It explodes. Whenever attacked.
Make antitoxin for pity's.
Exactly.
Oh, that would have been ridiculous.
All right. So this goes on for another day. If you choose to stay up all night, Brock, you'll incur some exhaustion. 1 level of exhaustion. If you decide to take like a short rest or something, or a long rest, the exhaustion will not take hold. And if you stay up for 2 nights in a row, you will have 2 levels of exhaustion, which is a negative bonus to all your rolls and saves, if I remember correctly.
I'll take the 1 level.
Okay. Well, if you sleep, it removes all levels of exhaustion.
Maybe he could stay up the first night, and then once he figures out what's what, we can either rotate watch or he can just sleep just enough to get rid of it.
Okay.
Only a suggestion.
He takes stuff off just in time for me to launch my evil plan. No. You guys are kind of coming into the Oasis, and we'll switch over to Stephen.
Hello.
So you're back in the Oasis after some time for things. Maybe business, maybe pleasure. Which is it?
Well, with my current character.
Yes, with your current character. No, not with Frederick. Frederick.
I would say definitely a little bit of both. I'm definitely going to buy supplies and probably try and like get an investor in one of my ideas.
Okay.
Most definitely would go after someone probably criminal. Don't give money for anything.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're a bit on the shady side, so you probably have some contacts here. You are informed that
Shady, but you know, my ideas were
if you had your vision,
if you had my vision, that is correct. If you had my vision.
um, you have
Hold up. You have a new character?
Yes, I do.
yes, he has he's had a backup one.
Frederick is dead.
Frederick
Well,
is
yeah,
very
but
dead.
we're also on our way to resurrect him, so.
Well,
Are
if
you?
that
Well,
happens, I'll run too.
We'll have to. I was gonna say we'll have to deal with that later.
All right, so, you from your contacts, you find there are roughly 4 major players in town, much different than in years past. One is a creepy ass like teenager, goes by the name of Zulthar. One's a flaming redhead from out of town, and one is a local, long-standing individual by the name of Holsborn, and a new interested party as well is also operating within uh, the city. May or may not have ties to Syronicus or dealings with Syronicus. That everyone pretty much knows about Syronicus's cult. So unless you've been living under a rock, you know of them.
I will go to the new player,
Okay.
not the redhead.
Darn it. So
Maybe
you
in a minute we'll see how this meeting goes.
what?
I said maybe in a minute we'll see how this meeting goes.
Okay. So you've been working your contacts a little bit, and they've arranged a meeting with this new player. He has agreed to meet with you. Is in a nondescript location within the city of within the city of Olton. No, Olton's the place within the Oasis. Um, he meets up with you. You it's kind of like a warehouse, kind of a place where things are moved a lot. So extra people being there would not be too, shall we say, attention worthy. Stuff moving around. An individual approaches you and says, I was assuming you guys would have a passphrase. He gives the passphrase and leads you to a back room.
All right.
Says, boss is inside. Opens the door and ushers you in. You see seated behind a table a man, kind of full on traveling cloak, face hidden in a cowl of shadow, sitting there with gloved hands, kind of waiting patiently. Looks up as you enter. You finally come. Please sit down.
I will sit and I'll take my, because it's essentially a satchel that I have, not an actual backpack, but a satchel. And I'll set it on the ground beside me.
What? So you sit down?
Mhm.
Right. I have heard you are interested in developing something.
Yes, it's a well, it has a lot of potential, has a lot of applications.
Oh, really?
Yes, I just need a little bit of funding for further research and development.
That is what are the applications of this promising um, item or creation of yours?
Well, the immediate application is covert uh, engagement, we shall say, of different people.
What
So
you
essentially, what this item is it's a regular gauntlet, or I might be able to fashion it into regular gloves, or maybe even a wrist device. But my current design is a gauntlet.
mm,
And I'll reach in my bag and pull out some schematics and lay them on the table. Um, but essentially, I have three configurations that I can do. The first one is uh, a way to neutralize a target long enough to tie them up and secure them. The second application is essentially uh, gives you the power of dragon's fire in your hand. That
mm,
one's a little tricky. That one's going to be very costly for me to work on. And the third one is more along the lines of an assassination type tool. There'd be a channel in the glove or gauntlet for poisons and toxins of the user's choice. And I could either affix some kind of blade or perhaps airborne release mechanism to it.
mm. This is very intriguing, especially for my associates. Do you have a prototype?
Not yet, but I have brought some other stuff that I have built myself to show you as proof of concept for my work.
Show me.
Um, I'll pull out my first one. It's my pistol.
Mm. May
Uh,
I?
I will unload the pistol.
I am familiar with pistols. Is this just like a basic one, or is it
It, it's
multi-shot?
it's my personal pistol. It has 4 chambers.
All right.
The barrel itself is actually cut off shorter. Um, and it says that I handed it to him and I said, "Now you notice that the barrel is much shorter than the average pistol. Um,
Mm.
the downside to this is it's only effective close range, 30 feet at most. However, though, even if you don't hit with a killing blow, it'll create some space for you to work in.
Very interesting.
Now
He kind of fiddles. He kind of fiddles with it as you're talking.
there are some other applications that I can do with this. I've been experimenting with special barrels for them that could be interchanged relatively easily, uh, preferably by someone trained, but even a commoner could do it. That could expand your range instead of just regular piercing rounds. You could do, uh, you know, a fire shot. You could shoot electricity,
Hmm.
even something corroding or corrosive, freezing itself. It all depends.
Now,
Um,
does this rely predominantly on an enchantment of some form, or is that merely part of the process, or is this a entirely, uh, shall we say, organic method
it's a,
dealing with the natural elements?
it's a hybrid kind of thing. So I would use crystals
Interesting.
to actually imbue. I would take crystals, imbue them with magic, and then grind down the crystals. And in the forging process, include that in the metal itself.
Hmm.
And I hold out my hand,
Very interesting.
waiting for my pistol back.
He hands it back to you.
Reload it, put it away in my coat, and I'll grab my musket that has been on my back, my rifle that's been on my back. Actually, would have been over my shoulder, and I set it down. And this one's kind of my pride and joy. This rifle is no louder than the average bowman. And with this longer barrel configuration, while it's a little bit cumbersome, it gives me much greater range and effectiveness.
Mm.
And my last recent work, and I'll pull out, it's a little ceramic ball. It got a small pot, essentially. It has a fuse coming out of it, and I'll set it on the table. This is more for whoever is in the area. You can light the fuse, or if you have someone who is skilled with evocation magic of the fire type, or is handy with a firearm, or anything with fire, really.
Something such as thaumaturgy, perhaps?
He could. But essentially what happens is you light this fuser, give it some form of ignition, and once it impacts, it explodes. And anyone within, I would say, right now, with this style, 5 feet, but there's promise of greater distances later on with more material and more time I have to develop it. They're going to experience some very uncomfortable flames. And I'll gesture to my face because the entire left side of my face is like burnt, like the eye is actually burnt closed, like scarred over. There's no hair on the left side. And I'm pointing, as you can tell, it comes at some great cost.
So what you've essentially done is brought the spell Fireball into the hands of a common man.
Not quite as strong as I've seen some magically inclined use it, but similarly, yes.
Interesting. This would be quite useful. May I take one for my associates to perhaps deconstruct and produce, shall we say, en masse?
So this is my work. If you want to buy the rights to reproduce this work, it'll cost you 200 gold.
And what are you thinking of for a price for funding of some of your other projects?
The gauntlets, for basic use, I could produce 10 of them. Well, develop first. 2,000 gold, I could develop it, and then we can negotiate the price of production later on. Of course, with you being the funding party, would get a great discount.
What is if we wish to produce these as well?
Those, if you want me to make them for you, I'll make them for 100 each. But if you want to buy the rights, 200 flat out.
So you're telling me that this is a 200 for the idea for this, and he indicates the ceramic ball. 200 for this, the rights for this and he indicates the papers as of yet unmade and untested prototype. And an additional what for the what else would we have to provide you to also gain access to such of your devices?
If you want to buy the other rights for stuff, it would depend upon the item itself. But if you'd like me to manufacture it for you, give me a number of how many you want and what you want, and I'll come up with a number for you.
Well, we will wish to diversify the manufacture of such of these devices. So while I do not doubt your skill in craftsmanship, we would prefer to be able to not say place all our eggs in one basket, I believe is the phrase.
Understandable.
Should Another, and he indicates your face. Another accident in the lab, or such a thing as an experiment gone wrong, suddenly claim your life. Purchase of the rights means nothing. Even if we had the blueprints, we would still need to be able to develop them. Or if we asked you to build them, you may accidentally, perhaps, lose your life in a lab accident, and we would be out however many we wish.
Okay, so I'll tell you what then. You want one of my, we'll call them bombs. You want one of these? I'll give you this one for 200, and you can do whatever you wish with it to recreate it, rebuild it, whatever. You want this gauntlet blueprint? I'll build you one, and then you can do whatever you want with it afterwards. But I need 2,500 if you're gonna keep building them yourself.
So 2,000 for you to produce a prototype. Yes.
2,000 to produce a prototype, and you'll get the first batches that I produce.
Mhm.
That is your payment for funding. The first 10 I produce will be yours, free and clear. And after that, if you want to buy the rights, then we can negotiate that price. Or if you want to buy outright, I manufacture one, you recreate 2,500 for the gauntlet.
Well, I would prefer to have a number of examples. As you said, the design does need to be refined. And if you're refining them with the first 10, or trying different variations, shall we say, I would like to have a smorgasbord of options to possibly recreate, and for our own, let's call them technicians, to tinker with. And maybe, though I do not doubt your skill, I'll find some improvements. As it is said, more eyes and more hands make quick work.
Okay, then this is what I'll do. You give me the 2,000 gold.
Mm.
I'll make any one of these three that you want. And if you like it, you give me another 2,000. No, it'll be less than, because I already have a format. We'll discuss that price when that time comes. But that one that I produce is yours. After I've tested it, of course, so that I'm not giving you a janky product.
Understandable.
And then we can discuss further on prices. But once I've tested it and have it refined, it is yours. That your craftsmen can do whatever they wish with it.
Sounds agreeable. Now, and he indicates the bomb, and he picks it up and holds it like an apple. This requires more refinement, but this is a finished product. Yes.
Well, it does not require more refinement because it is a finished product. What I said was that I could expand upon it. I could develop larger, more effective ones based off this design already. Like
Now, you say it activates. Its effect is roughly 5 feet. I'm assuming from its own circumference. Yes.
Yes.
What if I were to want to have something, say, 25, maybe even 100 feet?
Give me 1 second, please. And he just starts doing his like air math and doing it in his head and everything like that. And he goes, I could potentially do that. The method of delivery would be the really question. How do you plan on using it? Do you want to launch it from something or carry it and throw it?
We would, for the larger areas, such as the 100 foot, we most likely would be launching it from a very specific type of machine, or several types of machine, such as I'm sure you're familiar with ballista and trebuchet.
Yes.
For the 25 would probably be more of a man-carried object, or perhaps someone like a large orc, or maybe a troll.
Okay. I could probably manufacture something to launch those. themselves. Like a person would be trained in it and carry it, and then it launches from it. I could work on developing a handheld one. That's going to take me a little bit of time because I have to refine a finer powder as well as introduce some other ingredients potentially. And those ingredients I don't have an exact price on at this moment. I don't have my ledger with me. But I could do that. Do you want to fund that?
We'll be, I and my associates will be quite interested in this. So shall we say 2,000 for the base product, 200 for the blueprints to this current model, another 1,000 for research and development of a larger variation of this, with possible promise payment for the rights in the future, and open for negotiations of practices for other of your designs and products, with the understanding that we will also prefer to be working on them in-house, and in addition to other developers making pretty much mass producing your handiwork and standardizing it more, turning it more from a fine craft to a commodity, for lack of a better term.
I could do that.
So
Now, when you give me the 1,000, now do you want that to be the 100-foot or the 25-foot, or both?
would 1,500 work for both, or would you prefer 2,000?
15 would be preferable for the both. That'll give me enough wiggle room. 2,000 would give me more wiggle room, but the 15 is enough.
All right. So currently we would be at roughly 3,500 gold. Sorry, 3,700 gold in exchange for this, future rights to your gauntlet, and for researching larger variations of this. We also, of course, as your pride and joy and your small mechanical device, your pistol, I believe you called it, we'd also be interested in variations of those, but we do not have to necessarily pay for those right now. The negotiations will still be open.
Let me finish my design with the barrels for the pistols, because I really think you're gonna like those. And once I have those finished, I'll bring an assortment, and we could possibly set up in a environment in which we could test said items.
Oh, I'm sure we will be able to provide quite a numerous environments to see such thing as reliability. Several of the pistols currently on the market, although single shot, are quite rugged. I've heard that they've worked even in such areas that are high in salt, such as the ocean, not within the water, of course, because I'm sure you understand why. And we would like to have a very rugged mechanism similar to what is currently on the market. It works seemingly everywhere as long as the powder is dry.
Is that something you'd be interested in?
What powder that works when it's wet?
Yes.
Obviously, if we are going to be equipping ourselves and associates with firearms, not only for that, but also for your future endeavors, that would give us quite a handy edge if we were to, say, accidentally mishandle some gunpowder and resultantly be attacked by unknown origins, and then we would be up a creek, as you would say. We would definitely be interested in water soluble or water resistant powders.
I will reach back down. I'll hold one finger up, get back down in my bag, and dig around, pull out one. No, that's not it. Dig around, pull out one. No, not that. Pull out another one. This one. I'll put it down on the table, and it's quite simply, it's a rifle. That is it's a sealed, like it has seals on it and everything like that, like single shot currently. I could probably work out a second one, with more shots. There's a little sketch off to the side that has that actually has like a watertight cartridge. You load it in, fire, loaded in, fire. I've been working on this for a while. It's still very rough. The issue is reloading. But currently, I can do a single shot underwater with no issues.
Hmm.
Now, like I said, the reloading is the issue because once you open to put in the new cartridge, water fills the chamber.
Hmm.
There's no spark. I'm still working on that one. I'm working on a multi-shot configuration of some type. But would you be interested in that as well?
I am definitely very interested in this product. Or this,
I'll tell you what, you've given me enough money for the day. I'll keep working on this as a side project, a favor for you and a favor for me. And when I have something tangible, I'll come back.
it sounds like a deal.
All right, so 3,700, and I will contact my associate who contacts your associate, and we'll set up a meeting at that time.
Very good. He claps his hands. Bring me the money. Guy comes out and he's got he's got a chest, or two guys come in with a chest. Now, let's get down to counting. 1, 2, and they go on through 3,700 gold worth. Would you prefer this in platinum or gold? He says about halfway through.
I like gold.
So do I. And they put it in convenient bags, and actually they bring a small bag of holding, very small, like purse size,
A handy haversack.
something like that, like a pocket on the side of a
Swing
handy
purse
haversack.
holding.
And they dump it in. There. An enchantment on the house. It makes it much easier to carry large amounts of money. So think of it as a gift of good faith. And he
Oh.
kind of picks up the explosive again and sets it down, as you have given us one of good faith as well.
All right.
I believe that concludes our business. He pushes himself up. Good day.
Good day.
You're ushered out of the room and the building. At this time, we'll go back to the other part of the party. Now, you've been flying pretty much all night, and the vehicle comes down within one of the courtyards of the Dervish King's palace.
I will
be
right back. Sorry.
awesome. Okay. So you are. Let's see if I can screen share, because we haven't showed a map all night, and I think people probably just be a little bit bored. There we go. So you guys are somewhere over here, north of the Wizard Tower, within the palace grounds, and the people around there are not at all surprised to see something like this. It's possible that the presence of these machines is well known, at least within the palace, and that the open areas are rather suited for this thing. It comes down very similar to not necessarily a bird with its abrupt movement, but it eases down kind of like a ship on the tide, and you feel a distinct sinking feeling as it makes contact with the ground, and the initial inertia normalizes.
Initial inertia.
Initial inertia.
You know, that'd be a pretty good band name.
Like slowing to a stop on a wagon.
Yeah, so it's like you're going down, but then it stops, and then you keep going for a couple of seconds after that.
Strange, but okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Tread was a sleepy boy.
Dreaming of 11 herbs and spices.
And delicious, delicious human flesh.
So this is the Oasis map.
Yes, this is the Oasis map.
Okay.
Yep.
This is where you guys did a lot of your stuff before.
With a fried egg in the middle.
So
Mhm.
now we're looking for like the church in this town, or
No, you are within the area that you're within that weird guy who like had a bunch of black tendrils going around him. This is pretty much his house. This is his palace. This is the house of the Dervish King.
We're looking for the king.
Mm,
And he doesn't even say a who.
yes. Nor does he die tragically on the toilet.
Oh. I mean, it's still possible. He's alive, you know. He could still die on a toilet.
oh my
I
God.
don't-
But does
I
he have
don't
enough
know.
drugs to die on the toilet? That's the real question.
We do.
Well, he has plenty of. He still probably have most of that bag of herbs he bought from the shop because he only uses it now and again to make potion.
You also have Stuk.
Let's not get into that.
Shoot.
Literally or figuratively.
You guys were considering dealing it out of your bar before Frederick died. Come on.
Okay, depending on what was what, I had thought about mass producing it because of my proficiency with alchemy, but then you mentioned like addiction and a whole bunch of other strange things, and I thought, nah, I might study it on my own time, but otherwise I don't think so.
I mean, you're going to get high on the back to figure out what it does.
No, I have other ways to analyze stuff than that. You don't have to lick everything.
Tread does.
What the?
You know
All
that.
right, so where are we going? We got to get this guy like back to.
Yep, we got to get him back
Yes.
to the king to see if the Dervish King can do anything to help Frederick or not.
Okay.
Okay. So are you guys picking up Frederick's body and like hauling him over?
Do we have a cart or something we can set him in gently, or does someone else have to carry him?
Well,
You
he
could
is.
add-
Could
he is dead.
put him in the bag of holding.
This is also true.
Oh, I
He-
forgot.
If you mention that, Tread's gonna be like, "Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that would have made things so much easier than eating him."
He would not have fit at the time though. Well, this was the only reason why you ate him.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. So I mean, if we can do that without harming the body,
Which we've stated before really doesn't matter.
all right, let's put him in there.
He was already in my stomach. I think he'll be okay in the bag.
Everyone just kind of stops just a little bit, and like the crew is around you at this point, and they're like,
Fred, shh.
"What?"
What?
Never mind him. He talks about strange things sometimes. We're helping him get over it.
All right,
I
so
don't
you managed
What's the
to
problem?
manhandle Frederick into the bag of holding. It goes kind of like trying to halfway between trying to put a doll into a bag and trying to dress a toddler.
It's now a body bag of holding.
Yeah. And so, do you put him in head first or leg first?
Head first.
Okay. So you put him in that like there's a leg, and then he slowly slips down in there. Okay. I just had the mental image of you guys just going in, and it's like we brought you Frederick, and just like shake the bag, and he just like flops out.
That's
With like one arm in the wrong direction and one leg in the wrong direction.
I wouldn't do that.
Technically, the armor would
I would.
prevent that. The armor would prevent that because that's one of the benefits of wearing armor is that it prevents hyperextension of the joints.
Damn it.
It still make a hell of a loud noise, though.
And you were going to make him into a strange caricature?
Oh yeah. Anyway, so you've managed to get him into the bag. What are you guys doing next?
We've got to seek an audience with the king somehow or other.
True. You do
Uh,
have the writ.
Holy.
Yes. I could, depending on who has the writ, well, Tread presented it so that Skythorn could see it, or Mr. Black could see it, or.
Bag, which I have.
Okay, so we'll need to bring that bag with the writ and Frederick and go to see the king.
Okay.
I'll take
So-
the red out on our way.
Okay.
You were let in without any real trouble,
Okay.
and Sir Algrim is present as well. He is seeming to be in conversation with the king when you guys came in, and he's still in his position. And King Aryak is on the throne as you last saw him. The only difference is that he's wearing a different set of clothes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're talking. Oh,
Well, you guys come
anymore?
in.
Oh, okay.
You
so-
guys come in. They turn and like, oh, somebody's coming because there's huge doors that lead into this room.
And they make a noise when they're opened.
Yeah, or it's really, really obvious.
Okay.
Use it. You're, and Sir Algrim kind of thinks a little bit. You're Bask, the Bask boy. One of Sir Algrim or one of Sir Frederick's group.
Yes.
The rest of you. What are you doing? How goes it in Giva?
We've taken out 2 of the 6 lieutenants, but we ran into some trouble, and we came to you to try to get it straightened out.
What kind of trouble? Where's Frederick?
I open the bag.
You just see him kind of like
Just dump his body.
Tread!
I mean, you guys can stop me. I'm gonna start doing it unless someone says
Don't do that. Stop, Tread. No.
what.
You have to take this a little more easily.
take what a little more easily.
Frederick and our esteemed druid here got into some conflict with one of the lieutenants, and Frederick fell in battle.
But where is he? Is he? Were you able to revive him? It's just.
I just point at the bag.
No,
You see his face just kind of fall as he makes the realization, and he just kind of takes a few steps back, and Arya kind of pushes into the conversation. He says, "I see. He has passed beyond, shall we say?"
Yes.
Yes.
He gets up and he walks down the steps leading up to the throne. Are you brought him here for what reason?
We didn't know. What's his name?
None of us can bring him back.
You wish him back?
If at all possible, yes, we do.
We'll see what we can do. I will need his body. We shall let it sit for one night.
I just turn the bag over.
You see this does not seem phased at this by all, but Algrim is like fighting back tears and has got a hand over his mouth.
Tread, I thought, never mind.
What? It's
All right,
not
just go.
bread, it's a bag of bones.
Aryak goes over and puts his hand on Sir Algrim's shoulder and says, "Do not worry, my friend. The threads of destiny weave themselves strangely. Perhaps it is not really the end of your favored apprentice. We shall see." And he motions to the guards to take the body somewhere else. But you knew him as well as better than I. What would he have wished? And Sir Algrim says, he would have wished the task completed, as I taught him. He turns to Lundgren. You
Yes.
are under the banner of Sarand, yes?
Yes.
All right. You are now underneath the house of Aland. You're now one of our he thinks for the terms is one of our initiates, privates, whatever you wish. You are now seconded underneath the house of von Steuben. Now part of his part of his group of servants. You are to carry on your lord's mission, even if it costs you your life. Do you understand?
I do.
Now, that requires me, seeing as Frederick had to my knowledge, no heir. You are the chief officer of his house now. His servants are now yours.
Understood.
While they do technically still outrank you, you will be able to issue them orders or requests, and they should provide, shall we say, until we have sorted this all out, or not.
Okay.
All right.
Smoke break.
Now, if you excuse me, I have some grieving to prepare for, or not. And he goes and he just ushers himself out of the room. All right, just watches him leave. You all should rest. I must commune and consider in a way. And he also leaves the room, and the guards usher you out. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Okay.
I like keeping these short so that people who actually, if anyone actually watches this, don't have to watch like 6 hours of D&D in order to get half us not bullcrapping.
Okay.
So we'll catch you next week. Cool music plays as the lights go down.